So what we're going to do is go over the chords in the minor scale using A minor. Then we're going to go over to F sharp minor. A minor harmonic would be A, B, C, D, E, F, raise the 7, G sharp, A, G sharp, F, E, D, C, B, A. So we're going to build a chord on each degree of the scale. The tonic is a minor chord. A minor chord consists of a minor third and a major third. How do you test it? You make believe you're going whole step, half, or whole step, whole. When you did your 5-finger position, you had whole step, half, whole, whole. That was minor. If you did major, you had whole step, whole step. So you can hear the difference. So a minor third is a whole step to a half step there. Now if you divide the split the chord in half, this is a whole step to a whole step. It's like do a deer, a female deer. That's a major third. A minor third plus a major third equals a minor chord. So the tonic chord in the minor on the first degree of the scale is a minor chord. The 2 chord is diminished because it's a minor third plus a minor third. You can test by going either whole step whole or whole step half. That would fall into the minor. On this end, it would also be a whole step half. So together, 2 minor thirds equals a diminished chord. In all minor scales, the 2 chord is diminished. The 3 chord has 2 major thirds. It's augmented, augmented. That's the mediant. The mediant is augmented, 3 chord. The 4 chord is a minor third plus a major third. That's a minor chord. That's subdominant. That is minor. In a minor scale, 4 chord is minor. 5 chord in any scale is major. Major. A major third plus a minor third is a major chord. A major third plus a minor third is a major chord. And then we have 6 chord, F, A, C. You can even hear it's happy, it's bright. A major third plus a minor third is a major chord. That's the 6 chord. 7 chord, diminished. Minor third plus minor third is diminished chord. And back to the 8th note. 8th chord is the 1 chord again. So here's what we want to develop your ear training. Now, in the F sharp minor scale from the piece you're learning, the Venetian boat song, you should first just play the notes of the harmonic minor. So we are building the chords on every degree of the harmonic minor. So here's the 1 chord, it's minor. The 2 chord is diminished. The 3 chord is augmented. 4 chord is minor. The 5 chord is major. The 6 chord is major. The 7 chord is diminished. And then minor. Again, it's the same as the beginning chord. Diminished chords, you could keep adding thirds like this. Here's a diminished chord in the 2nd degree of the scale. You can add 2 minor thirds and add another one. So you get a 4-note chord. That would be root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. That's the spooky one. If you kept going up like this, you could hear how unstable, mysterious that chord is. Now what I was telling you to do this week was to build diminished chords under every degree of a scale. And I'm going to pick actually the C major scale. You can do this in major or minor. You can go, C major is all white notes. Eh? So if you take the tonic, that's the major chord, and you go a half step below the C, and you build a diminished chord, which is all minor thirds, and that next third. So you have root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Make it a diminished seventh. You can see that shrinks into the tonic. Now if you were in C minor, and this was the first chord of C minor, and you went a half step below the C and you built that same diminished chord, it could also fold into a C minor chord. You could see it could fold into a major or fold into a minor. So I'm just interested this week in you're just taking C major and play a diminished, which is half step below C with a bunch of minor thirds, pull it back into C, and go to the supertonic, it's the 2 chord, which is DFA, go half step below it, build minor thirds, root third, 5th, 7th, and pull it back in. You can see it can shrink right in there. Now you go into the 3 chord, it's minor. Remember, we're in a major scale now. Go half step below and build a diminished 7th, and pull it back into the 3 chord. Now go to the 4 chord, go half step below it, build root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. These are all minor thirds. Makes it diminished, and then resolve it back. Now go to the dominant. That's C major's dominant. G. Go half step below, build diminished chord, diminished 7th, root 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then fold it in to the dominant. Go to the 6th chord, half step below it, shrink it back in. Now this one I wouldn't do because it's a diminished chord. And putting a diminished chord under a diminished chord half step below, diminished isn't going to do very much. So only do it with the 1 chord, the 2, the 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. With the 6 chords. 1 chord, 2 chord, 3, 4, 5 chord, 6. You're going to go very slowly so you can see what you're doing. I wanted you to know that F sharp minor is related to A major. If you're in the major key, a shortcut A major to get to its relative minor is to go down 3 half steps. 1 half step, 2, 3. So that would be this relative minor starting on F sharp minor relates to A major. Now I was showing you in the Mendelssohn piece that right at the bottom, the first page, the very last line, he's in F sharp minor here, and he's getting ready to modulate into another key. Now this is a dominant of F sharp minor. You can see that. Goes to tonic. You can hear that. Now he's going to the dominant of, in the key of A major, which is the relative major, its dominant, which is E major, and you can add a 7th to it. You can see that. So you could say in effect that you can go dominant of F sharp minor and jump to dominant of A major. I mean, a dominant is the 5th note above the tonic note of the scale. So if you go up 5 notes in A major, you get E, G sharp, B. You can add a 7th, pulls you back down to A. If you're in F sharp minor, you want to go to the 5 chord. You get this. That pulls you back to the F sharp minor. That's exactly what he's doing here. So he's going, this is the dominant of F sharp. Now he's going to switch to the dominant of its relative, which is A major, and the dominant of A major is E major. You can see that right here. It builds intensity. So I don't want to overload you with too much information, but you're going to have in the Venetian boat song a number of diminished chords, and as I told you, they're spaced out. They're not always just minor third, minor third, minor third. You could space them out like this. Okay? If you made it very tight, you would have this. But you can space things out like this. of course, in this period of music, they opened up a lot of these chords, so they were wider spaced and gave a wider sound. And so that's what he does a lot in the Venetian Boat Song. When he does this diminished chord here, it has a strong pull to B minor, because if you compress it, it can go into B minor, or it could have gone into B major. We talked about the fact that B major would make no sense in this piece. This is a somber minor piece, and if you want to test that for B major, it won't work. We already had tried that. So it's going to the B minor. There it is, the B minor. So this is basically what's happening. That's one instance of a diminished chord going to shrinking in to the B minor. And B minor in the key of F sharp minor is the 4th chord. So they all have relationships. And I'm not going to go over every single thing in this, but this is the basic thing for you to do this week, is play diminished chords under each chord of C major, but don't go to the 7 chord, because that's another diminished chord. We just want to shrink these diminished chords into either a major chord here or a minor chord. Okay, that's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to do this week.